Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share and support the platform. Hey you guys, shout out to my subby that sent me this story request. And I know you all think that I just love talking about swirling, but majority of the time I get sent these stories, so I try to honor the request of the subs. So in today's video, I wanted to discuss the situation with the rapper Hopson, where he made this post on Instagram discussing the mother of his potential child where he hasn't seen the child, and this is due to him being allegedly banned from Australia. So I wanted to give you a brief history on who he is, as well as the history of his relationship with the mother of his child. So if you're interested in knowing what exactly occurred, please stay tuned. If you're having some skincare issues, an uneven skin tone, and acne, X Moisture's organic skincare cream will be a great solution for you. It is effective. If you're interested in purchasing, please go to xmoisture.com. You guys have actually been emailing me about how much you are raving over CarMarshal because you like the simplicity of the site as well as their customer service. They have over 100,000 cars in their inventory for you to select from, so definitely go down to carmarshal.com, tell them Paris Milan sent you. You guys always ask me, how do you keep your skin so clear? And definitely one of my secrets is Ash Kicken's African Black Soap, and they have other skincare products that you can use. So go down to ashkicken.com. If you use Paris Milan at checkout, you will receive 15% off. Again, go to ashkicken.com. Also, make sure you go and pick up your melanated gear, your cinch bags, your hoodies. Go support Black currency unmasked. So Hopson was actually born Marcus Hopson, and he's from Panorama City, which is in the Valley. When we say the Valley, we're talking about San Fernando Valley, that's in Los Angeles. And he is an LA-based rapper. He is a self-made millionaire. He said he was inspired by Eminem, and he has a strong fan base. He's known for doing these songs called The Ill Mind of Hopson. He also has some diss records that he used to do in the past. So he stated as a kid that he was pretty much ostracized for the way that he speaks, because he speaks proper. And you know, sometimes we have these idiotic people in the Black community that will clown people who speak proper, and they'll say ridiculous things like, well, you're trying to sound white when all you are doing is speaking proper English.
So it's been said that you kind of felt like you were ostracized, you know, growing up in the Black community. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, okay. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking that one. Okay, I'm what color am I? I'm black. I'm dark skinned. The sound that's coming out of my mouth, if it doesn't sound a certain way, that means people are going to categorize me as a certain type of black, which I think is wrong. So yeah, but as I got older, I started to see like Black people would clown me and say that I don't act black. I would hang around skateboarders, and a lot of them are white, and they would just crack a lot of Black jokes, so it kind of made me uncomfortable. So it's like, damn, the Black community says I act white. White community just likes making Black jokes all the time, made me uncomfortable. That kind of made me just hang around the Mexicans. The Mexicans just embraced me, and just took me in, and yeah, that's why I got love for Mexicans. And it will always be there. And it especially shows when when I talk to Black girls, they're like, nigga, you act white. Like that's always the first thing that the like ghetto ones. That's the first thing I'm like, man, yeah, that's why you'll never see me with a lot of Black girls. It's just weird. I mean, it's not weird on me. They feel weird around me.
So do you have a preference in like women that you date?
I have a girlfriend right now. She's white. She's from Australia. But if I was single, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'll date any type of girl, any culture, any race. I have no preference.
He basically didn't say that he had a preference in particular, even though his actions directly contradict that. But I'm sure some of you may say, see, Black women rejected him, but that's not really an excuse, because white people in the skateboarding community rejected him, making a bunch of Black jokes, and he still gravitates towards their women, want to hang around white people. And why is it that when we do something to each other, we automatically are unforgiving with one another in how we treat each other, but when other races of people humiliate us, we are very receptive to them still, even as adults? It makes no sense to me. Now, I told you guys it would be brief about his bio, so I want to get into the relationship he had with Alice Madden. So around the time when he was getting his taste of success in 2012, around this time is when he was friends with Alice Madden, and they grew a relationship. They became very close. As you can see here, there were pictures of her having some poster that she created for him, and you could tell that he really loved her, even though they had a long distance relationship, because he is based in LA and she lives all the way in Australia. Everything appeared to be going smoothly. It seemed as if they had a loving relationship. However, in 2016, things did go awry. Hopson stated that he was in Sydney and they were at this hotel, and he hadn't seen her in months, and they were lying down, and he ended up getting a text message from one of his friends. I'm gonna read you a little bit of these lyrics. It's pretty long. I'm not gonna read it all, but just to kind of give you a picture of what occurred. So he said, my homie texted me a picture and I just burst into anger. It was my girl in a bed with her personal trainer. I text my homie like, yo, where you find this? He said, Snapchat, bro, it's all on my timeline-ish. He said, swear it struck a effing nerve in my chest. I looked at my girl and said, get a paternity test. She said, no, don't you get all worked up and upset. I only slept in his bed right after work just to rest. At this point, he discovers that she is cheating on him even though she's pregnant. He also had a $20,000 engagement ring that he bought for her because he claimed he was trying to do things the right way. Not only did he discover that she was cheating, but he went on to basically ask her, how are you going to take care of this kid if I'm not around? So he said, how are you going to support this kid without me? You don't make dough. She said, haha, I make lows. She had $6,000 cash. I said, but you was broke 2 weeks ago. How you making chips that fast? She said, I bartend. I made it all in tips. Haha. I said, girl, you must take me as a big jackass. I'm like, please, we both know money is hard to come by. Her bullish might fly over the heads of some guy's officer. She always telling dumb lies. I've known her for 6 years and she hasn't lifted a finger one time. I said, where'd you get the cash from? She said, I bartend, duh, from the tips. I'm a waitress. I said, where'd you get the cash from? She started stuttering like, Marcus, wait, I said, where'd you get the cash from? She said, okay, I'll tell you. Just promise me you won't get mad. I'm like, baby, where'd you get the cash from? She said, I work at a strip club. It's how I made the $6,000. I said, whoa, no. I fell down in tears. My heart broke. I turned cold. I don't want the girl that I'm in love with doing no H-ish. If she needed cash, I would have loaned it and she knows it. It won't let me get a refund on this $20,000 ring. F, my head hurts. I need some ibuprofen. After this, of course, he is completely livid. I mean, she is pregnant with potentially his child and he just loses his ish. He takes her purse, he throws it across the room. At this point, she's still like on the bed and she's getting up to leave, and he admitted that he pushed her back onto the bed. And so this is where he says it here. At this point where something was about to get destroyed, I grabbed her purse, threw that ish across the room. I effing launched it too. It was filled with makeup kits and all of her jewels. I blacked out. She said, what the F is wrong with you? She got up out of the bed to get it. I pushed her A back in it. I said, we're still talking, B. You and I ain't finished. And because of this, she actually called the authorities and he was arrested and he had to go through the court system, and he was told that if he pled not guilty, he would have to stay in Australia longer. He couldn't stay there because of the obligations that he had to perform. If he did not perform, he was going to be violating contracts. So he went ahead and pled guilty to the assault against her, and he now claims that he is banned from Australia. Now, of course, he was livid because of all this, and here's what he had to say about her on Instagram. He said, yep, she was exactly what you all claimed she was, a gold-digging plastic surgery bee looking for fame. If you're my fan, unfollow that H and comment on her page. Only know you because of Ha. She tried to get married into my money. Ha, B, go get a real job. You ain't got no fans. Stop being delusional. B turned me into a real savage now. She lives behind a makeup brush. I couldn't even kiss this H without looking like I had Juggalo paint on my face after. Let the new music begin. So she also made a video, so I want to play that clip for you guys as well.
Can you guys honestly please stop messaging me every day asking if Hopson is the father of my child? Clearly my child doesn't have a father, not Marcus, not anyone, so yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that. So leave us alone and let us live our life, and that's that. And my advice to all girls out there, never have a baby with a man who hasn't fully committed to you. You're going to end up hurt in the end. Because I will tell you this now, he does not care about you and he does not care about his child. And because if he did care, he would not abandon you and his baby.
I have a kid that was born in January, and he's in Australia and is a kid with my ex-girlfriend who's also from Australia. And, you know, her and I ended on very, very, very bad terms, and it was so bad. On my last visit out to Australia last year in September, and a lot of things happened, and it was a crazy situation, and I ended up going to jail, and then I had to go to court. I had a tour coming up out here in America, and it was such a shady situation where I felt I was treated unfair out there, and I had to plead guilty to something in order to leave. The lawyer said if I want to fight the case, I'm going to be out here for a few weeks or maybe you know, a long time. And you know, I would have burned so many bridges out here in America with promoters if I had, you know, if I wasn't able to make those shows. And so I just pled guilty so I could leave the country the next day. I left the country not knowing if the kid was mine. Until this day, I still don't know if he's mine. He looks like me, resembles me, so I'm just gonna. My heart is telling me that it's mine. I felt this maybe a while back this year. I called my ex and I'm like, look, I'm sorry for everything. Whatever happened in the hotel room, I forgive you. You know, shit happens in life, and I just want to see my son one day, and I want to make sure everything's right. So you know what? I know, even though me having the doubts and not having the proof that it is my son, I can see certain resemblances in his face that resemble me, and I'll take care of all of the financial things of him, and I said I'll take care of everything, because that's also been, her argument of me not supporting the kid, because the way I was raised and the way I feel like life is, and where for us all is, we ain't taking care of no kid if we don't know that's ours. Like I don't know, but like I said, I feel like it is, so um and I offered to pay child support and everything, and she completely slapped me in the face, like with her actions. She got off the phone quickly. I asked her in return. I remember saying, look, I'll pay everything. You don't have to worry about paying for the diapers, his food, nothing. I got it all. It's all covered. I'll have a Visa card that you can just use whenever you want to get him whatever you need. It will be monitored by my accountants to make sure you're not buying no down payments on any cars or anything like that. But I was like, it's all covered. She said, well, I'll think about it. And I said, in return, I would like to FaceTime him 3 times a week for 5 minutes. That's all I ask. She said, well, I got to go now. I got things to do. Got off the phone. A couple days later, posted some fucking man with my kid, it's like holding my kid and everything. It destroyed me.
So not only did he talk about this in a sit down, but he also made a song named The Ill Mind of Hopson 9. There's a part where he admitted that her family is pretty much racist. So he said, I knew you and your mom are staying with her parents, Bill and Kirsten. You're partially black. I'm confident they're feeling nervous. They don't like colored people. In their eyes, you're still a burden. They assume you're gonna grow up shooting guns and stealing purses. But that's not true, son. Don't be sad. I know you're not like that. You know I got your back. All of this brings us to today, where he made a post because he has this song out called The Old Us. It sparked him to pin an Instagram message to Alice. So he says here, Alice, I'm genuinely sorry. Our love story did not pan out to be a perfect fairy tale. I wrote this song last September because I hated pretending as if I was okay after everything that happened between us. It's clear that you and I are 2 totally different people on 2 different wavelengths of life, and that's hard for me to accept, but it's reality, I guess. I still love you deeply after all the heck we've been through. My mind says you don't deserve this at all, but my heart tells me otherwise. It's been 2 years now since our son was born and I haven't met him, all because your personal feelings are hurt. That's extremely cruel, and there is no justifying that part. I'm not in prison, not in a gang, I'm not a drug user, drug dealer, and have no history of hurting people, and even then, those types of people still get to at least meet their kids. You will be damaged from my absence, as I am extremely damaged from his. The hardest part of it all is knowing I have so many people who love me worldwide and can sense my genuine heart, but in yours and your family's eyes, I'm an absolute monster. It's also cruel of you to go around telling people I'm a deadbeat dad when you know very well that you're holding Zaid hostage in Australia, which you got me banned from. This video is a reenactment of a dream that I keep on having and a prayer I keep sending to God in hopes that things can be right with us one day and we can be a happy family. There will never be another us, and I'll just be the best father our son never had. Now we all lose. How I personally feel about it, and I'm sure some of his fans are going to be so livid. If you look at the lyrics, he clearly says that he took her purse, threw it across the room, he was calling her out of her name, and he pushed her back down onto the bed. Now, some of you guys may interpret that as being harmless, but we're dealing with a person that was pregnant, and obviously he is stronger than her and he is angry. That alone is a form of abuse. Even if a person pushes you one time, there's no marks on you, there's no scratches or anything, and they're cussing you out, just because you're not beaten to a pulp does not mean that it's not abuse. What she did was so beyond scandalous. Like, it was ratchet, it was dirty, it was thought-like behavior, but did it warrant you getting that mad that you needed to push her back down onto the bed? I personally don't feel that it did. Secondly, I really feel like this is his fault. He has to take full accountability for this. You live all the way in LA, she lives in Australia. You didn't really know much about her. You didn't know she was working at a strip club. You didn't know that she was cheating on you, and then to know that her family is pretty much racist, and you turned around and still risked getting this woman pregnant who was not your wife, clearly didn't know much about her background story. I just can't believe that you are really upset with her her and you want your fans to spam her and she's a plastic surgery bee. No, you have to look at yourself. And it's just hilarious to me that you can now try to look at this from a racialized aspect when black people were having hashtags going on for Black Lives Matter and you were totally against it. So let me just show you some of the hypocrisy that goes on with these swirlers, where when they're in the midst of being in a relationship with a non-black person, they don't want to see race and they're even going against black people trying to support unified causes. However, when they experience some sort of racialized discrimination, then they want to holler racism when it doesn't apply. So here's what he had to say in the latter portion of his song Hotel in Sydney. He says, "She's just the innocent white girl and I'm the black guy who always gets mad." True. So how are you trying to look at this from a racialized standpoint, yet when black people were being killed, you were just basically saying all lives matter and trying to deflect when black people kill each other? So here's what he had to say: "Just do what you gotta do to be a good person. F a color. I love all races. Our Black Lives argument is so contradicting right now. This week, more N-words killed N-words than cops killed N-words. Black people, we can't expect anyone to respect us unless we respect ourselves first. Life doesn't work like that. Let's be real. Black lives don't even matter to a lot of blacks. So how come all of a sudden black lives matter when someone else kills us? Why is it that when these people get into interracial relationships, they no longer want to acknowledge racism? The reason why so many black people are upset when non-black people kill us is because sometimes those people are not held accountable. When a black person kills another black person, they are going to go to jail. So they got the price of 2 for 1. One black person is dead, another one gets locked the F up. So I'm not really sure why black people keep taking on that stupid mentality. You can't hold other races responsible for killing you and them getting off, but you want to hold each other accountable and talk about what we do to one another, even though we are held responsible. That makes absolutely no sense to me. They love that non-threatening Negro that will hold his own accountable, but when it comes to other races of people, they just dismiss it. Black men like him who use swirling as some sort of emotional escapism, it never works in their benefit. It always has a backlash effect, and it may not happen immediately. As you can see with him, he's known her for 6 or 7 years, and so it took him about that long to realize how treacherous of a person she was. And now you want to holler, oh well, I'm just a mad black guy and I'm this monster and I'm all of this. You knew that's how it was going to turn out for you. You know, as a black person, you don't have any protection under this law when you are engaging in behaviors against their own. They're going to protect their own. Just to show you the level of protection that Australia has, that they literally banned you because you pushed a white woman back down onto a bed who was pregnant. This is a consequence that people have to deal with when they are in relationships with a person that does drugs, that is abusive, whatever. You still owe that person the right to be able to be in their child's lives. Now, that's not to say that you let them be in their lives unsupervised. I believe that there needs to be some sort of supervised visits where he gets to visit with the police present or some sort of court appointed person that can travel alongside him and her where the child is present. This is the ramifications of being with a person that you really don't even know and you live on the other side of the freaking world from. And again, some of our black men just don't learn. They're so busy talking about how black women are mistreating them, black women don't do this, black women don't do that, and you see how grimy some of these women really do you. They will paint you in the media as monsters, they will paint you as violent, they will make you out to be deadbeats, and that's y'all's fault. And it's crazy because even though I feel as though she does come from a racist family, I feel as though that's Hopson's fault. He knew that she came from a racist family, he didn't care, and you were still willing to risk having a child with somebody like that, knowing that this child could be influenced by their racist mentality. I just don't get it. I'm kind of glad Hopson's not with a black woman because I kind of get vibes from him that something about him is off. I can't really tell. It could just be his eccentric personality or that smile that he has, where he said he just by default has this smile going on and these white contacts that he wears. I don't know, but something about his energy I could just tell is a little off. Even his behavior to me is very juvenile. He is 33, but if you go by his behavior and how he blasted on Instagram and all these things, you would think that he was like a 21-year-old. So that alone should make black women count their W's that they did not get into a relationship with a man with this mentality. But ultimately, I think that in this situation, he is in the wrong. You guys could let me know. I do feel that he should be allowed to see the child if it is his child, but it should be supervised. Please let me know how you guys feel about this situation and him making all these songs about her and instructing people to go harass her and all these things. Let me know if you feel like she's wrong or he's wrong. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!